After 7 days in judicial custody, anti-Modi cop Sanjeev Bhatt's bail plea will come up in the Ahmedabad Sessions Court today. The Gujarat government's application for police custody will also be heard at the same time in another court. This even as activists have announced a statewide protest against Sanjeev Bhatt's arrest starting tomorrow.
As a very senior officer's wife, जिस तरह से ये लोग पेश आए हैं, पुलिस वाले पेश आए हैं, बहुत ही गंदा, इनफैक्ट कोई भी डिग्निटी नहीं, कोई भी ग्रेस नहीं. It was in very bad state.
A shaken wife describing what she
I am worried about the safety of my husband, in fact,
and her IPS officer husband went through 6 days ago. Even shooting off 2 letters to the Home Minister seeking help. Describing the ill treatment meted out to her husband in jail. And now 6 days after he threatened to rattle the Narendra Modi government further,
मैं बहुत कुछ कह सकता हूँ, अभी कुछ कहना नहीं चाहता हूँ. आई एम इन पुलिस कस्टडी. मैं कुछ कहना नहीं चाहूँगा. मैं कहना चाहूँ तो मैं बहुत कुछ कह सकता हूँ, अभी नहीं कहूँगा.
Sanjeev Bhatt's day of reckoning may well have arrived.
2 courts, while one would decide whether to accept or reject the revision remand petition of the police, the second would resume hearing of Sanjeev Bhatt's bail plea. While the proceeding in the first would determine whether Bhatt goes in police custody, that of second would determine whether Bhatt comes out of jail latest by Monday.
With activists backing him to the hilt,
so the intention of the Gujarat government is what I'd like to talk about. That their intention seems to be that to any extent humiliate him by holding him in a police lockup.
And even threatening statewide protest from Saturday. Another front in this battle may open inside and outside courts today. With Abhishek, Bureau Report, Times Now.
Let's go across to Abhishek, who's joining us on the phone line. Abhishek, 2 separate cases going to be heard in the court against top anti-Modi cop Sanjeev Bhatt. The real question here, the protesters now saying that the Gujarat government wants to humiliate Bhatt and that's why the police custody is being asked for. How can you go ahead and assert this assertion by the protesters?
Well, you know, this assertion by the protesters in a certain context of the way Sanjeev Bhatt's family was treated by the cops who had come to raid the premises twice. In fact, as Shweta Bhatt has mentioned in her second letter to P. Chidambaram, that the mistreatment meted out to the family is unbecoming of a state government, and the fact that in the absence of Sanjeev Bhatt, he had already been arrested. A posse of about 40 cops came twice to the residence, raiding, entering into kitchen and bedrooms and washrooms and looking for things which perhaps have no connection with Sanjeev Bhatt's case, or has made them go for protests against the Modi government. And and more importantly, today Sanjeev Bhatt's legal battle enters a crucial phase where 2 courts have to simultaneously decide, one on his on possible police custody of Sanjeev Bhatt and the other on his bail. Hearings would go on simultaneously in both, and we would know by second half of the day whether Sanjeev Bhatt gets police custody or he remains in jail or he comes out on bail.
Abhishek, at this point of time, the 2 applications that are going to be heard, what time are they coming up? What are the main contentions for asking for his police custody?
Well, so far as the police custody application is concerned, it comes at 11 a.m. and as of now, the issue is maintainability of that petition, because that very petition itself has been challenged. We have to remember that the first remand petition of the police in a magistrate's court was rejected outhand, and this is a revision petition, the maintainability of which has been challenged by Sanjeev Bhatt's legal side, essentially saying that in these kind of cases, a revision remand petition is not a right of the police. And so the court would decide at around 11 a.m. whether the revision remand petition of police can be maintained. If the order is yes, it can be maintained, then there would be further set of arguments as to whether remand should be allowed or not. The grounds on which police has sought his remand is that there is certain material, particularly affidavits, which Sanjeev Bhatt has filed in various points of time. They have to recover that, and also that, according to them, they want to know who is backing Sanjeev Bhatt, and all these things constitute grounds of remand for Sanjeev Bhatt. But that is only after the court decides whether the revision remand petition itself can be maintained or not, because that has been challenged by Sanjeev Bhatt's side. Also, in the bail hearing, that is in the later part of the day, Sanjeev Bhatt's side has already completed its argument almost, but the state would take up its own case as to why Sanjeev Bhatt should not be granted bail. Rhythm.